and his opponent, at 232 pounds from Pensacola, Florida, Randy Rose.
Well, this should be a main event, as we said. It could be a main event in any arena in the country. In the AWA right now, this would sell out in Minneapolis and Los Angeles. And we've got it right here in Marietta, Georgia. Tommy Wildfire Rich taking on one half of the World Tag Team Champion, Randy Rose. And Paul E. Dangerously is at ringside. And that makes it double dangerous for Tommy Rich.
Tommy Wildfire Rich has always been, I guess, a favorite for many, many years in the state of Georgia, Joe.
That's right.
It looks like he is hot tonight.
And he has got Randy Rose in a headlock right now. And as you can see right there on your camera, here goes Rose throwing Tommy off into the ropes. Tommy comes off of the shoulder block, goes for another one. Randy Rose goes down, tries. Now there's the oh, he went over just a little bit too far. But you know, Rhubarb, that is that world-famous Luthez press that Tommy uses so well. Now, Paul E. Dangerously at this point asking for a timeout, which of course he cannot get. There is no such thing as a timeout in pro wrestling. But Paul E. is trying. You know, I've always wondered about that telephone that Paul E. carries. It seems that everywhere I see him, he's got that telephone, and he's in communication with somebody, and we never know who.
He's never without that phone, Joe.
He's been known to use that telephone for more than just making phone calls, too, you know?
Yes.
Rhubarb, the crowd here at Miss Kitty's looks like they're really enjoying it. We've got almost a capacity crowd for our first taping here of Southern Championship Wrestling from Georgia, and they are seeing some great matches so far. And in this one, Tommy Rich now working on the arm of Randy Rose. Paul E. Dangerously does not look real happy at ringside.
Joe, I'll tell you what, in the weeks to come here at Miss Kitty's, it's going to be standing room only. I can tell you that right now.
Well, we want to be sure and invite everybody out for the TV tapings, and a little bit later on, we'll be giving you the date of our next TV taping here at Miss Kitty's. You know, Miss Kitty's is located on Franklin Road. Oh, Dapper Dan in there trying to break these two men up, but it looks like Tommy Rich is going to do the job all by himself. Look at him standing there just daring Randy Rose to come, but you got to give Rose credit. He's not backing down an inch.
Not one iota. Not one iota.
Tommy now with a headlock with Randy Rose down on the mat. You know, they've got some great concerts coming up here in the future at Miss Kitty's, along with great wrestling action. There is a suplex with Randy Rose, and he brought Tommy down right on the back of his head. Tommy, it looks like he's hurt. Paul E. telling Randy to pour it on, pour it on. Here comes the big body slam. Now Randy's going to go to the rope. You know, this is a move that he's used. He's going to come off down right on the chest of Tommy Rich. Tommy kicks out, though. He's able to get out in time and stop that 3 count. Rhubarb, we're going to be talking about some of the concerts coming up to Miss Kitty's in the near future. Now look at this, the referee being distracted, and now Paul E. Dangerously is holding Tommy Rich and choking him. Tommy trying to pull Paul E. over. He's pulling him up to the ring, and he's got himself, but now here comes Randy from behind. And wouldn't you know it, Paul E. telling the referee to keep Tommy away from him. Oh, there is that clothesline that has done so much damage to opponents across the AWA. Oh, and almost a 3 count. I don't know how Tommy Rich got out of that one.
Tommy Wildfire Rich is just, I don't know, what a well-conditioned athlete. I've had him on our radio show a couple of times, and he's such a great wrestler, such a great athlete. Of course, Randy Rose is in great condition.
Oh, look at this, head-to-head. The two men come off the ropes, and they hit head-to-head. They're both out. Dapper Dan, our referee, is going to have to hold the count. He's up to a 3 count now. There's a 4 count, and one of these two men are going to have to get up, or this match is going to be called. Rhubarb, I don't know if they're going to make it. Hey, wait a minute. Randy comes up now, and he's got Tommy. Tommy reverses it. Randy goes into the corner, comes off. Oh, that reverse atomic drop, and that has got to hurt.
That's got to be very, very agonizing there, Joe. Tommy is wrenching in pain, and Randy just keeps pouring the punishment on.
Well, you know what? This is one of the times that I can see big elbow to Tommy Wildfire Rich. some of the fans are yelling for Randy Rose. And there's a fan down in ringside yelling, "Put the fire out, put the fire out." Randy Rose now putting the boots to Tommy Rich. Dapper Dan getting in there trying to break these two men up. Rose has Rich in the corner and is working over. The past couple of minutes, the matches belong, Drew Barb, all to Tommy Rich.
The punishment that Randy Rose just keeps.
Now the crowd is picking up the chant of Tommy, 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 and Tommy Wildfire Rich. There comes Tommy Rich with an elbow. There's another big elbow for Tommy Rich. Tommy Rich is down. I tell you, if Tommy doesn't start something here, I'm afraid he's not going to be able to pull this one out. And here he comes. There comes a blow to the midsection, and now one to the head of Randy Rose. And there's that Tommy Rich elbow. This may be the comeback we've been looking for. He puts him over the top all the way. Now, wait a minute. Who is this? Paulie Dangerously is on the phone. Who is Paulie Dangerously talking? He's got a sleeper hold on him. Paulie Dangerously is on the phone. In the ring, Randy Rose is in a sleeper hold. And Tommy Wildfire Rich looks like... Wait a minute. Wait a minute, Rhubarb, that's Austin Idol. That's his former partner. That's Austin Idol in the ring. That's Tommy Rich. Oh! That's Tommy Rich's former partner. They were Southern Tag Team Champions, and now they're using that phone of Paulie Dangerously on Tommy. I can't believe Austin Idol. I cannot believe a man who was Tommy Rich's partner. And now look at this. Look at this. We're going to have to get things under control here. We're going to have to a 5 count, and Jerry stepped in and broke the count. Here comes Idol now back into the ring. And now Austin saying, well, here, let's slow things down just a little bit. What do you say? I tell you, talk about an unfair advantage. If you'll notice, Jerry Oates is having to keep an eye on the back of his head. You know, now, can you hear what Austin Idol is saying, Rhubarb? Austin is up there saying, I don't have a beef with you, Oates. My beef was with Tommy Rich, and that's over. I don't have a beef with you, so let's just calm down. Now, let's see if Jerry Oates, let's see if Jerry buys that act. It looks like Austin wants to shake hands. And Tommy's trying to decide if he wants to shake hands. And Austin's saying, I'll give you my word, a clean match. Here, let's just shake hands.
I think, Joe, could this be one of Idol's tricks?
I don't know. Jerry Oates says, okay, let's shake hands. So right now, well, now Idol is the one that's sort of acting like he does. Oh! I don't know. Jerry Oates knows Austin Idol's reputation, one of the top wrestlers in the world, and he knows how sneaky he is. Now, all right, they're going to shake hands, it looks like. Austin crosses his heart and says, I'll give you my word, man. All right. Oh, it didn't work. He tried a Pearl Harbor attack, and it didn't work. Jerry Oates knew what he was going to do. Turns him around and uses that atomic drop right on the base of the spine of Austin Idol. And once again, we find Idol on the outside of the ring, not very happy. And now, Paulie rubbed his head a little bit earlier, and I wonder if he's going to rub what's hurting now, Rhubarb.
Joe, Austin Idol is in a great deal of pain.
Paulie Dangerously consulting with his man, Austin Idol. And I got to say, Jerry Oates has been one step ahead of Austin Idol, and Paul Dangerously just about all the way since that first sneak attack in the beginning of the match, Rhubarb.
Tell you right now, there, against the rope and down Idol goes.
Puts that high knee right up into the chest of Jerry Oates. Puts Jerry down to the mat. And now a closed fist. The referee not able to see. Right, oh, look at that. Austin Idol right in front of the referee. You know, I believe that Idol just really has no regards for the rules whatsoever. Smashing Jerry Oates now into that corner. And now using that left hand to just work over. And look at the head snap back on Jerry Oates. He reverses it though and sends Austin. And now right into the abdomen. There's that high knee lift. And now Jerry Oates, oh, This is what Tommy Rich would say, fired up, would you say?
Definitely be fired up.
And I tell you, I think that Tommy Rich, if he's watching, has got to be happy about exactly what his friend Jerry Oates is doing to Austin Idol. And there's an elbow snapping back now on Austin Idol, and he's going to go for a pin. The Wolfman down 1, 2. Oh, no, not even a 2 count. Idol able to kick out. You know, Idol is in such fantastic shape that even with this punishment, high boot, he brings the boot up. Wait a minute, they're bringing the phone into the ring. Now the referee's not going to let him get away with that. He's going to call. They're not going to. Wait a minute, into the ring. Here comes Tommy Rich. Tommy Rich says, no, sir. Tommy Rich drags Austin out back into the ring, and he's not going to allow this to continue. We are running out of time. We are going to have to go, but Tommy Rich says, no, sir, we are not going to have any of that, and Tommy runs from the ring. And I tell you, we've got just a few seconds before we have to leave on today's edition of Southern Championship. All right, obviously, they're not even going to let Rhubarb get this match underway. The referee... Ladies and gentlemen, you'll have to forgive me if for one of the few times in my life I am speechless. Rhubarb Jones almost got murdered in the ring. Tommy Rich and Bruiser Brody hit the ring, and they would not even allow the match. The referee is saying, we don't have time for the announcements. Let's start the match. We've got Tommy Rich and Bruiser Brody going up against Dick Slater and Randy Rose, and what a tremendous match this is going to be. Rhubarb, that was a little bit too exciting for me. Well, I just told Calaboose boy, I don't know if he can handle that kind of... Well, I tell you, when the likes of Bruiser Brody hit the ring, you're going to have to be careful. The referee now making Dick Slater get back in the ring. You know, it's a well-worn cliche that this could be a main event anywhere in the country. Anywhere. I'll tell you right now, you could take these 4 men and it could be a main event in any arena in the world today. No question about that, Joe. And I'll tell you, look at this. Oh, my God. Joe, I'll tell you what. Tommy Rich is over there on the corner starving to get in there. Brody's taking both men. Look at Bruiser. Look at Bruiser. Oh, there's the Brody bomb. A foot right to the face. Oh, goodness. Oh, will you take a look at what Bruiser Brody did to Dick Slater? Looks like Dickie Slater got it right in the eye with that foot. And now, I think Dick Slater may be saying, hey, man, you're not paying me enough for this. Holly, he is running around like a madman. Randy Rose, you know, I don't recall a tag being made. I didn't see it either, but there's been a tag there. Tommy Rich going to get after him now. Look at that. Oh! A drop kick right to the face, and Tommy Rich is throwing it in. Look at that back drop. Whoa! That man had to have been 7 feet up in the air and down on his back. A 2 count. Randy Rose, who is, of course, one half of the Midnight Express, the AWA World Tag Team Champions. And he is tagging tonight with another good friend, Dick Slater, who is being paid, we might add, by Paul E. Dangerously to be here in this match. And Tommy Rich waiting for Randy Rose to come back. They tie up in the middle of the ring. A headlock now by Tommy Rich. I tell you what, it's great to see great wrestling coming back to Georgia Southern Championship Wrestling. Dangerously up on the ring. He has no place. Oh! Now there's Slater. It was a planned move, Rhubarb. It was a planned move. They distracted the referee, and then Dick Slater attacked Tommy while he was going into the ropes. And now, look at this. Randy Rose keeping the referee and Bruiser Brody tied up in one corner while Dick Slater comes in. Well, now look at him yelling at the referee. There's a suplex on Tommy Rich by Randy Rose, and now a flying knee right into the chest. A 1 count. Only a 1 count.
Hey, I guess Brody should have stayed with Stan Hansen, huh?
Well, that, of course, the voice of Paul E. Dangerously. It looks like the double teaming tactics of Paul's team.
You want to take my phone? You want to find me? You want to suspend my guys? You want to play game check? I'll show you what devastation's all about. You want to live dangerously with Paulie Pedicino? That's fine. You're going to pay the price.
You know, Rhubarb, unfortunately, like most of the time when Paul's around, we don't get a chance to talk that much.
I hadn't seen so much hot air in Georgia since I was down in Adel back in July.
Double teaming on Tommy, and there's an elbow to the throat. And I tell you, this is something else. Now, here comes Tommy Rich. Now, wait a minute.
Look out.
Wait a minute. That big man is here, Grizzly Boone. Grizzly Boone has come out to ringside and is talking to Paul E. Dangerously. That is not a good sign. Here's Tommy Rich. Tommy makes the tag. The Bruiser Brody is in now. And he's got those big slaps, those big shots going up against Hook.
I'm giving you action. How's that for action?
Well, wait a minute. Grizzly Boone is grabbed. Grizzly Boone is grabbed. Bruiser Brody. He's got him outside the ring. And we've got Grizzly Boone and Bruiser Brody. Meanwhile, inside the ring, they are double teaming Tommy Rich. We've got to try and get some order restored. Outside the ring,
I've never seen anything like
they've got a wooden chair. They've got a wooden chair. Now, he's got the chair and he hits Grizzly Boone with it. Meanwhile, inside the ring, Brody's going back in the ring. He's got the chair. He's breaking the chair. He's back in the ring. And look at this. He's cleared the ring. Bruiser Brody has cleared the ring. Grizzly Boone wants to go back in, but Paulie Dangerously is saying no. Bruiser Brody has gone back into the ring with that chair.
This crowd is Georgia at 232 pounds, Tommy Wildfire Rich. With him at 227 pounds from Montgomery, Alabama, Johnny Rich. Joining them from Nashville, Tennessee at 205 pounds, Ricky Morton. Their opponents with a combined weight of 465 pounds from anywhere they want to be from, Steve the Brawler Lawler and the Nightmare. Joining them from Baton Rouge, Louisiana at 285 pounds, Big Jim Bryant.
All right, our main event today on Southern Championship Wrestling, a 6-man tag team match, and what a dream team. Johnny and Tommy Rich teaming with Ricky Morton of the the Rock and Roll Express, taking on Bad Company, the Nightmare and Steve Lawler and their partner, Big Jim Bryant. What a match this should be,
This is
Rhubarb.
going to be exciting. This is going to be a dadgum barn burner, buddy.
Look at the action as Ricky Morton takes the Nightmare in. Oh, a big drop kick. You know, we better be careful. The action may be too fast to call.
I'll tell you. Ricky Morton is, boy, he is hotter than a $2 pistol, isn't he? Of course, that fine young man from Montgomery, Alabama, Johnny Rich. Johnny's a big favorite all over the Southland.
Johnny's got that wrist turn now on the Nightmare. And look at the crowd as Ricky Morton walks around the ring. This crowd is getting turned on.
I'll tell you, they always have a great crowd here at our TV tapings here at Miss Kitty's Saloon and Dance Hall. And great place to come see country music, too.
Oh! That's right. You know, Jerry Reed is coming up here on the 17th, I believe, isn't he?
Yes, he's going to be here on the 17th, and he is one fantastic entertainer.
That's right. You know, Jerry, of course, one of the stars of the Smokey and the Bandit movie.
Yes, sir.
And, of course, one of the top country and western singers of all time. And he'll be right here at Miss Kitty's on the 17th, and we want to invite everyone to come out for that.
Whoa! Steve the Brawler Lawler getting that arm worked on by
I tell you
Wildfire.
something, Rhubarb, you won't find main event action like this anywhere in Georgia except Southern Championship Wrestling from Georgia.
I don't think there's any question about that. The matches we've seen in Miss Kitty's, the matches we've heard about that are going on in Carrollton and Alpharetta.
Ricky goes into the corner, letting Lawler go right into that turnbuckle and then pulls him over with an arm drag. You know, this is the reason the top names in wrestling are coming to Southern Championship Wrestling from Georgia. We're looking at it in the ring right now. In coming weeks, you're going to be seeing the Fantastics. You're going to be seeing Kerry Von Erich. You're going to be seeing Jerry Lawler. You're going to be seeing Jeff Jarrett. All of these people coming to Southern Championship Wrestling from Georgia for this very reason. They want to get in on Georgia's major league of professional wrestling.
It's the best. It's the best. No question about it.
Steve Lawler now getting back to his feet.
Ricky Morton gets this crowd pumped up.
Talk about a dream team. Ricky Morton, Tommy Rich, and Johnny Rich. I mean, that would have to be anyone's dream for a main event team.
The Nightmare and Johnny Rich working on one another.
Nightmare with Johnny in a headlock. Rhubarb. Johnny Rich now trying to figure out a counter. Looks like he's going to take him into the ropes and throw him off. Here comes the Nightmare.
Whoa.
A big collision. Johnny down. Back up. Johnny over. Comes over and on a
Kaboom!
beautiful arm drag.
Look at that.
And another one, and the Nightmare down. There's the tag. Tommy Rich coming back in now. Goes right down on the Nightmare. What teamwork from these three men. There's a big flying drop kick. Referee says there was a 2 count. Tommy back over, tags Ricky Morton. A lot of teamwork you're seeing on this team. Ricky goes in. Did you see how high that man got? 2 count on the Nightmare once again. Now the Nightmare using fists. Ricky Morton says, if you want to use fists, brother, we'll use fists. Tags. There comes Johnny Rich. You know, these two teams have been tagging rather frequently. That's, of course, a sign of good tag team wrestling. Big Jim Bryant tagged in now against Johnny Rich, and the crowd picking up the chant of Johnny. Oh! Jim Bryant put Johnny Rich. He must have been 8 feet in the air when he started down.
2 count. Of course, Steve the Brawler Lawler. Look, that's why they call him the Brawler right there. Look at that.
Look at this. The referee trying to stop, and now he's just choking the man.
Whoa.
Runs into a foot.
Whoa.
If the Brawler wants to brawl, Johnny Rich will accommodate him.
I'll guarantee the boy from Montgomery will flat dead after. Whoa.
Well, Lawler came in brawling. Johnny Rich glad to oblige. Now, Johnny tags in Tommy Rich into the rope. Double elbow off. Johnny up on the, or Tommy up on the second rope. Lawler moves out of the way.
That elbow and that wrist.
He may have hurt his wrist and his elbow. You're right there. He drove that fist right down into the mat. Back against the ropes now, the Nightmare in. And it looks like they're going to take advantage of that mistake on Tommy's part. But listen to this crowd picking up the chant of "Go, Tommy, go." Lawler now over in the ring, or on the apron of the ring, choking Tommy Rich. Ricky tried to come in, but the referee's chasing him back. But that's giving the Nightmare a chance to drape Tommy over the rope and choke Tommy on that bottom rope.
Nightmare and Steve the Brawler Lawler tagging up. Making the switch there.
Oh, what a six-man tag this has been. There's the tag, and Brian comes in, and he tags Ricky Morton. Now Ricky Morton says, okay, brother, you want to fight? We'll fight. Morton now throwing Big Jim Bryant. Corner to corner, post to post. Brings him over. Going now to the top rope. Bryant comes up. And there goes Morton on the top rope. 1, 2, 3 count. There's your count. There's your 3 count. The winners of the match, the Dream Team of Ricky Morton. Bill Drummond, this is not supposed to be happening. Dick Slater came out. Dick Slater, and now he's using the mannequin on Bruiser Brody. He's got his fist out. And he's in the ring with Bruiser Brody. I don't know how we're going to end this. Bill Drummond, we've got to do something. Bill Drummond, oh no, he's putting through. He's going to power drive Bruiser Brody. Brody won't go up. Brody turns it over. Brody puts down Dick Slater. Brody puts that down. Bill, I'm going to say this right here and now, Slater. There is no doubt in my mind. There will be a match on TV here next week. You want him so bad, you got him. And I'm telling Brody that right now. I'm waiting for you, Slater. I'm waiting for you. Come on, Dick Slater. Bill Drummond has said, be here next week. Right here, Dick Slater. Waiting for you.
Ladies and gentlemen, introducing at 205 pounds from Nashville, Tennessee, Ricky Morton. His partner at 232 pounds from Atlanta, Georgia, Tommy Wildfire Rich. And their opponents will be combined with 460 pounds from Tyler, Texas, the Texas Outlaws.
All right, Johnny Rich is here with us now. Johnny, this ought to be a great match. The Texas Outlaws were here last week, and they said they were looking for teams to give them competition. Well, if this one won't do it, it can't be done.
So, you know, this is like a matchup between Texas and Tennessee here, you know. That's 2 Tennessee boys there. Look at here.
Well, I'd say right now, Tennessee's on top.
Johnny, is this what we call down in South Alabama? An Alabama bloodlet right here?
This is it right here.
We're fixing to get wound up here in a minute. You know, a lot of people always ask me about this. Tommy and Ricky ever teamed up. Get him, Ricky, get him.
Ricky Morton just slides out of the ring, and he goes right. He says, not today, baby, not today. Back in there now against Hoss Deaton. And they try it again. They put him in, and look at this. He goes out again. I tell you what, that man is like greased lightning.
Quick as a cat. Quick as a cat.
Under Hoss Deaton. Bam! Rhubarb, this is a TV time limit match. And as I look at my watch, it looks like we have about 3 minutes or so left. They're telling me we have almost 5 minutes left for this match. Hoss Deaton now pushing off on Tommy Rich. We're sitting on about 5 minutes left to go in this match. It is a TV time limit match between these 2 main event tag teams. And this one, you know, Rhubarb and Johnny, this is a cliche that is used a lot and overused a lot. But this match could be a main event, any arena, anywhere in the country.
That's right. Let me tell you something, Joe. This is just a sample of what's going to be going on in the arenas around here.
How about in Carrollton tomorrow, when you and Tommy and Ricky will take on the $5,000 man, Grizzly Boo and Randy Rhodes.
We're going to wear them boys out. You know, the people in Carrollton's always been good to us over there. We always enjoy going over there. And tomorrow night, it's going to be a special night with the 3 hours.
Tomorrow afternoon. It's
Tomorrow
2 o'clock in the afternoon.
Let me make sure I write that down. What time is that?
2 o'clock in the afternoon. We'll be back here at Miss Kitty's tomorrow night, where the main event will be Bruiser Brody against Dick Slater. And I was absolutely astounded when I heard that Dick Slater was bringing Abdullah the Butcher into Carrollton for that tag match with Brody and Blackwell tomorrow at 2 o'clock.
Well, there's no telling who he might bring in, but you know, what goes around comes around. You know, we can bring in whoever we want to, you know.
It's going to be something else. Now, right now, Ricky Morton is in trouble as he is up high on Hoss Beaton. And Hoss has the bear hug. The bear hug he used last week. Oh, Ricky Morton has a way to get out, though. Right into the corner now with Ricky Morton. He's hurt. His back is hurt. And Hoss Beaton using, you've got to give him credit, using some tactics to keep Ricky Morton from tagging at Rhubarb. All right, now, Joe. Disqualification, but the referee didn't see it. Now Hoss Beaton is outside the ring, and he throws Ricky Morton back in. I can't believe Ricky Morton has the strength to kick out after being thrown over the top rope like that. That is what you call intestinal fortitude. What would be a main event anywhere. Tommy Rich and Ricky Morton against the Texas Outlaws from Tyler, Texas. Ricky just about ready. Oh, he almost had the tag when Deaton pulled Ricky back by the hair. Tommy Rich very upset with Wild Bill McMahon. Tommy trying to point out to Wild Bill what's going on. We've got 30 seconds left. 30 seconds left. He's not going to quit. He's got 30 seconds left. Folks, we're going to have to go. We are going to have to leave. TV time is almost up. Unfortunately, we are going to have to be leaving at this point. This should be a tremendous match. We get to see young Jeff Jarrett in action once again. Made quite a debut last week here on Southern Championship Wrestling. Of course, Jeff's been wrestling in Memphis, Tennessee with Championship Wrestling, and people all around the South have become very familiar with Jeff Jarrett, who is, of course, a second-generation wrestler following after his father, Jerry Jarrett. And Jeff has just been absolutely amazing in his young career. And Rhubarb,
he's a nice fella,
ladies
too.
love him.
Oh, they love him, and he's a really a nice guy. Really is a nice fella. Oh, he's quick as a cat, too. Oh!
Well, Rick Myers, in my opinion, not showing great intelligence. He let Jarrett go over the top there, and then just sat there and waited as if Jarrett wouldn't do anything. Jarrett, of course, surprised him with a beautiful arm drag. Jarrett now with Myers into the rope.
Whoa,
Myers comes off. The two men collide. Both men seem to take a little bit of it. But Jeff Jarrett goes right back after the arm. Now works over the arm of Rick Myers. You know, I got to believe that Jeff Jarrett has got his eye open for a partner in this upcoming tag team tournament.
We're excited about this tournament, Joe. I don't mind telling you. It's
The Rhubarb top tag teams from around the country are coming to Southern Championship. We understand that teams from other areas are sending tapes in so that Bill Drummo and the people at Southern Championship can look at them. And, of course, the tournament will be taking place here in the state of Georgia. We will be showing in the near future some beautiful medallions that will go to the tag team champions.
Well, Joe, as you said when we did the first program for Southern Championship Wrestling, that it was going to be a class act. Going to be a class act. And you and Big Bill Dromo, everything that you said Southern Championship Wrestling from Georgia was going to be, is.
Well, you know, Bill Dromo and the Commission of Southern Championship have gone out of their way to bring top names into Southern Championship. And that's why you see guys like Bruiser Brody, Jerry Blackwell, Tommy Rich, Dick Slater. Of course, you see guys like the Deaton brothers, the Rock and Roll Express, Randy Rose, Paul Dangerously, a list of literally international stars wrestling in Georgia once again as part of a Georgia promotion, Southern Championship Wrestling.
Jarrett working on the arm there of Rick Myers. Big man. This Rick Myers is a big fella.
Well, he's raking the eyes of Jeff Jarrett now to get out from Jarrett. He's got Jarrett over in the corner, in the ropes.
No!
Oh! Jarrett just made up his mind he wasn't going to go. He slipped out of the grasp of Rick Myers, put a fist into Myers. Now he throws Myers into the ropes, brings him off. High elevation down on that back. Now what's Jarrett doing? He's going up to the second rope, waiting for Myers to get up. Here comes Myers, and look at that drop kick off the second rope. That'll do it.
What a move! Oh!
Jeff Jarrett, your winner in about 4 minutes and 20 seconds, Rhubarb.
I'll tell you what a move Jarrett put on Rick Myers. Boy, I'll tell you what, the ladies are just going crazy. Rick, on Jeff Jarrett. They love that guy. Let's go to ringside. Joe has some, I say, special guests.
At 250 pounds from parts unknown, the Executioner. Their opponents from Santa Fe, New Mexico, at 285 pounds, Bruiser Brody. His partner from Atlanta, at 232 pounds, Tommy Wildfire Rich.
Bruiser Brody not allowing the opponents in the ring. He is furious over something. Bruiser Brody standing there almost daring the opponents.
He keeps saying something, Joe. I can't understand what he's saying, but he keeps saying something over and over and over and over.
All right, the referee trying. Let's see if we're going to be able to get this one going.
Tommy Rich trying to get him under control.
Referee trying to get this match started. Brody won't even leave the ring. Now Tommy leaves the ring, and now we're waiting for one of his opponents to come in. Bruiser Brody in absolutely a wild frame of mind. Brody now with an armbar on the Executioner. Makes a tag to Tommy Rich. Well, you know, Tommy told us earlier tonight that we may see them just beat up on somebody, and that's exactly what we saw. Brody would not allow the Russian and the Ninja to finish that interview.
Joe, as you said last week, the top seed is in the ring, Tommy Rich and Bruiser Brody. That's your top seed for that big tournament that's coming up, the big tag team tournament.
All right, well, you know, I think that Bruiser Brody saw that interview last week, saw what happened with Comrade Busick and the Ninja, and just wasn't going to have them out there this time, refusing to speak English, and I think it infuriated him. And I think what we've just seen has been the result of that, Rhubarb.
Yes, sir. No question about that, Joe. Bruiser Brody keeps saying something over and over and over, Joe, and I can't understand what he keeps saying.
Well, it's almost like a bark, Rhubarb.
It is like a bark. The Executioner working on Tommy Rich there, Joe. And that Executioner's one bad-looking hombre.
Well, he's got Rich, but Rich uses a good wrestling move and brings the Executioner down. Front face lock now on the Executioner as Tommy goes back, makes the tag with Brody. Holds now the Executioner while Brody puts a foot right into the chest. All right, they've got Brody, both men now on Brody, but I don't know how much they're going to be able to do with the big man.
It is like a bark. I don't know what Bruiser's saying, but it's like a bark. A chant of some kind.
Well, I've seen this before from Bruiser Brody, and it happens when he's upset, and he is right now, I think, very upset over the goings-on here in Southern Championship and in Georgia. And I will say this, I think this does not bode well for the other teams in the tag tournament. Look at him just standing there. Now.
You know that hurt. You know that hurt. Yeah, we felt that up here.
There's your 3 count. He slams the man down, and there is your 3 count. And now Brody, not wanting to get up, he's holding the man down. Doug Summers going over. He wants to get his partner out of the ring, but Brody's standing there daring him to come. Summers now gets out of the ring. He says to Brody, "You're crazy."
Yeah.
The Executioner able to get out. There are your winners. And as I said, not very good news for the other teams in the upcoming tournament. We're looking at Bruiser Brody and Tommy Rich. We'll go to a break and come back with more great action. Wrestling 2 and Ranger Ross coming up right after this.
His partner at 285 pounds from Baton Rouge, Louisiana, Big Jim Bryant. Their opponents from Ackworth, Georgia, at 238 pounds, Ranger Ross. And his partner at 232 pounds from parts unknown, Mr. Wrestling number 2.
We should have a tremendous tag team match here as Mr. Wrestling number 2 and Ranger Ross take on the team of Big Hoss Bryant and Big Jim Bryant. And joining me here at the microphone now, not only Rhubarb, but let's welcome Jerry Blackwell. Jerry, I know you're keeping your eyes on what's going on, and any word on a partner yet for you?
No, you know, Rhubarb, he let me down, but I'm still looking, and I'm hoping to find a partner. You know, Ranger Ross and Wrestling 2 here, they're outweighed a good bit. And that Hoss Deason, he can be a vicious man, but it looks like Jim Bryant just made a mistake.
Well, right now, Ranger Ross with the arm of Big Jim Bryant. He's got that arm bar locked on tight. He makes a tag, and then comes the living legend, and uh-oh, look at this.
Whoa! I'll tell you one thing. I'll bet you $100 in the morning his arm will be sore.
That $1 million knee going right into the upper arm, and now look at this. I don't think I'll take that bet, Jerry.
Jim Bryant's best move is try to get the Hoss Deaton right now. You know.
Bryant puts a big forearm into Ranger Ross before he lets him come off the ropes. All the way over, big elevation on that backdrop, and now the boots go to Ranger Ross. Jim Bryant, and there's the tag with Hoss Deaton. You know, we're expecting Joel Deaton back any day now. He was in Japan, and as Hoss just told us, or tried to tell us, he was now in Texas negotiating some deals, but we are expecting him back soon, and I'm sure the Deaton brothers are counting on big things in weeks to come.
They're going to be a team to, you know, to deal with in that big tournament that's coming up. They're both big, they're both vicious, and they don't mind breaking the rule books just a little bit, Joe.
Well, that's obvious as we watch Deaton here right now. He's got Ranger Ross in a huge bear hug, literally squeezing the air from the lungs of Ranger Ross. Drives Ross back into the corner. Big Jim Bryant now makes the tag. We're seeing some good team action here from the team of Deaton and Bryant.
You know what they're doing right there is not really illegal because you've got a 5 count to get out of that ring. They're just taking advantage of maybe bending the rules a little bit, not breaking them. Oh, here he comes.
Whoa. Ross was able to go under that first clothesline, but ran right into the second one and is down. And I'd say that right now, Ranger, although here comes some spark from Ranger Ross,
fighting back.
But he's over in that corner with Bryant and Deaton. And now it's 2-on-1. There's a tag. And in comes Deaton, and there's that 5 count you were talking about before the referee could get to a 5 count. Some double teaming went on.
That's just bending the rules. That's not really breaking them all. This might be all, Joe. No.
Ranger Ross needs to get over and make the tag, Jerry.
Too bad.
He's been in there for quite a while now, and I'm sure that he must be getting worn down. All of the weight of Hoss Deaton now down on the neck and the back of Ranger Ross.
He needs to tag real bad. The other 2 men, they're in and out. They're in and out. Good teamwork on their part. You know, you got to give them credit for one thing. They're in there as a team. They're trying to win this match. Here you go. Here's another tag.
That's about
Ranger
4
Ross.
tags now between Deaton and Bryant. The entire
right
time Ross has been in the ring now.
You know, that big forearm right in there to the midsection of the back, I tell you, that can put some pain on you, too. He's fighting to make that tag, but they're just not going to let him.
I must say, I'm surprised at the teamwork between Deaton and Bryant. And Jerry, let me ask you a question. Have you noticed an awful lot of improvement in Big Jim Bryant in the past couple of months?
It's unbelievable. I tell you what. I think...
Just as we said that, he makes a mistake of inexperience.
He made a mistake. But I tell you what, when you start wrestling with a higher caliber of wrestlers, you improve. Even you might get beat, but you still improve.
Well, as you can see, there's a tag. He made the tag. In comes Mr. Wrestling number 2. Big Jim Bryant taking some licks now from Wrestling 2. And he takes it, and there's the backdrop.
Katie Bow. That big Hoss, he got one in.
I tell you, I think he saw Hoss Deaton getting ready to come in and said, no, sir. Wrestling 2 now in, puts a big forearm, and there's the short version of the $1 million knee.
That's the $500 version.
Is that it? Rhubarb, I tell you, I think I'd rather pay $500,000 than take that one. I don't know how these wrestlers can take a knee like that. Jerry, talk about conditioning. And now here's Bryant back. There's that savant kick from Ranger Ross.
What does he call that kick, Joe?
The combat kick. Ranger Ross says he learned that kick while he was in combat. Uses it in the ring now because now this is
they're in it
arena.
now. They're tagging. I think this is a $1 million version coming here. Whoa! I think that's Katie bar the doors.
1, 2, 3.
It's all over.
That's it.
Sometimes that's what happens. One man gets in there.
All right, now, Jerry, I'm getting ready to have an interview with Grizzly Boone. You and Rhubarb have some things to talk about, but remember, I'm going to ask that there be nothing going on here at the step.
As long as he don't bother me, I won't bother him.
Jerry, talking about this upcoming tag team tournament, the Southern Championship Wrestling, everybody's getting excited about that.
Yeah, everybody's getting excited. Everybody's hunting a partner, and I'm looking around, too. I hadn't found the one I want yet, but maybe I will. All right, let's go to the ring.
Rhubarb is not having a good night tonight. getting these matches announced. John Michaels wasn't going to wait for the bell to ring to get involved with Bad Company. You know, Jerry, the feelings have been terrible among these three men ever since the split. And now Lawler and Michaels are on the outside of the ring. The Nightmare and Ray Lloyd on the inside.
Joe, those guys were perfect at one time.
That's right, Rhubarb. We just said you're not having a real good night in getting these matches announced. But this is what you have
when you was going to
I tell you
school.
what, I tell you, I was a halfback when I was in the 5th grade, boy. You never forget those moves, Jerry. When you got to use them, you use them, boy.
Well, as you just saw, Steve Lawler was given a drop kick over the top rope. He's laying here in front of us. John Michaels in the ring. Big elbow on the Nightmare. This man is infuriated, Jerry. I have never seen John Michaels like this.
Well, you know, when sometimes you're friends a long time and somebody stabs you in the back, it creates a special kind of fire inside, a special kind of hate, I guess you'd say, and I think that's what this is. Oh, it's a beautiful move by John Michaels.
I understand that John Michaels is going to be one of the people helping out at the Southern Championship Training Center, teaching some of the young men to wrestle who have done tryouts and are going into the training center.
Well, you know, we've started. We've got a few real good boys in there. It looks like they're going to be real good. They're working hard, and I'm looking forward to, we need to get about another 10 more boys, and John Michaels, Tommy Rich, myself, a lot of the guys are going to be working with them, Joe.
So the people who go to the academy will be trained by experienced professional wrestlers.
Well, you know, I've been wrestling for 17 years. Of course, I'm only 22, but, you know, I've got 17 years of experience.
Well, I think if everybody will get a pencil and paper ready, maybe in a few minutes, Jerry, we can give the phone number where someone can call if they would like to try out for the training center.
That's right, we sure can.
All right, Lawler thrown right into the ring.
You know, we're having tryouts in Alpharetta, but you can call 887-3681 and leave a message, or if nobody's there, and we'll get back in touch with you. But as I say, we're having tryouts every other Sunday afternoon in Alpharetta. The last one was on the 13th.
On the 13th, you're going to be there again on the 27th. So there will be tryouts for the training center on the 27th in Alpharetta. And that number again is 404-887-3681. 3681 to find out some information on the training center. John Michaels moves, and now he introduces Bad Company up close and personal. Ray Lloyd, Sugar Ray Lloyd, and now he's got the man down. 1, 2. The Nightmare able to kick out.
This Sugar Ray Lloyd, he reminds me of a guy that started here about 10 or 12 years ago, that Wildfire Tommy Rich.
He looks a lot like a young Tommy Rich.
That's
good.
Right.
A lot of the ladies have said that, you know,
yeah,
Jerry?
You know.
And I'll tell you something, a lot of the opponents think the same thing.
Whoa.
You know, Bad Company are going to be involved in a big tag team match coming up in Sandersville, Georgia on Saturday night, the 26th. And they'll be taking on Dino Manelli and Chick Donovan. And they'll be involved in that big tag team match there. On that will also be a bounty match, Tommy Rich and Dick Slater, and a lumberjack match, Mr. Atlanta and Wrestling 2. Ladies on that card also. Nick Busick will be there, the Mighty Igor, and more. All coming up Saturday night, the 26th, Jerry, in Sandersville, Georgia.
I'm going to be there. I'm not on the card, but I'm going to ride down. I tell you, the Sutter Relief when you don't wrestle all the time. You know, I'm just sort of a part-time employee, I guess you'd say.
Well, right now, Bad Company showing some of their tag team expertise on Ray Lloyd. Nightmare down with Lloyd, and there's a 2 count. As our friend Hugo Savinovich says in Caribbean, 2 seconds, 2 seconds.
Just 2 more seconds. I tell you, they're going to have to work on this boy a lot more before they try to get a pin on. He's got too much heart. He's got too much drive. Just giving him a little bit of time, and you're going to see, I think, a superstar.
Well, I don't doubt it. He certainly has the right attitude, and he has all of the physical attributes necessary.
You were talking about him, Joe, if I could interject. Ray Lloyd, he helps kids. He's worked with the Georgia Special Olympics. Joe, I think you were telling us that he coached a basketball team or something like this. This is a true fine young man.
They took first place, too, and they won the gold in that. He's a nice young man. Like Joe says, he's a ladies' man. He's sort of a handsome guy like you, Rhubarb.
Uh-oh, now the Nightmare may have made a mistake here, or it might have been planned. Michaels tried to come in. Now, wait a minute. Look at what they're doing over here with Ray Lloyd. Lawler wrapping Lloyd's leg around that iron post while the Nightmare is keeping the referee tied up in the other corner with John Michaels. I don't think that was a mistake after all. I think it was well thought out, Jerry.
I'm sure it was. I tell you, I think we need 2 referees. You know,
there have been a lot of discussion at the Southern Championship Commission meetings about assigning 2 referees to tag team matches, Jerry.
I tell you, you need it. You need 2 referees.
John Michaels trying to get the attention. Now, once again, this time it's the Nightmare taking Lloyd's leg over and wrapping it around that steel post. But you have to wonder, John Michaels drawing the attention of the referee, keeping his attention diverted.
All right.
Come on.
Now Michaels comes in.
He's fired.
Lloyd makes a tag, but I will tell you, I'm not sure how much good Lloyd's going to be for a few minutes. Well, Lawler walks right over to him. All 4 men back in the ring, and as I said, Lloyd's condition has been weakened a little bit in that leg, but we do have all 4 men now in a melee. Here goes Lloyd. They're throwing the 2. They throw them into one another. Now, the Nightmare and Lawler. He's got him down. He's got him now. We could have a freak out here. He's holding him. What's the Nightmare doing? He's loaded his mask. He loaded his mask, and now he's rolling over John Michaels. He's not even the legal man. No.
What's wrong? Come on.
He wasn't even the legal man in the ring. He had his mask loaded. He was obviously adjusting the mask. Now the referee, the fans are telling him to look. The referee trying to look at the mask of the Nightmare. The Nightmare won't let him look at the mask.
I tell you, I sure would have to look at that.
The Nightmare won't let him look. The referee's forcing him. The referee, the Wolfman, is forcing him. Wait a minute. He reverses the decision. The referee says he found something in the mask of the Nightmare, and they have disqualified the Nightmare and Steve Lawler.
I tell you what, you know, you can see what they're trying to do. This is one time the referee won out. He forced him to let him check that mask, and he found something in it. When you put something in there and you hit somebody that hard and you knock them out, you know something's going on.
His opponent at 260 pounds from El Paso, Texas, Manny Fernandez.
Manny Fernandez in our final match of the night against the Commando. Absolutely destroying this man. This is our first time to see the Commando, and he is absolutely being torn apart by Manny Fernandez. Dick Slater is at ringside, and there's a neck breaker. Fernandez now charging. There's the flying burrito. The Commando literally out on his feet, Rhubarb. We've had a lot of excitement today on Southern Championship. We want to remind you to be right back here with us next week for more great action. We are losing our time limit on this match. There's the flying burrito. That'll do it. All right. That's it. And
That's it, Joe Pedicino. You see that? You see my partner, Manny Fernandez, Raging Bull. Well, Dick Slater and Manny Fernandez are going to walk all over Buddy, just like Tyson Bruiser Brody, Tommy Rich, Wrestling 2, and Old Macon Dam with tag team. Manny Fernandez and Raging Bull will prevail. You know why? Because we got the guts and we got the drive, and we have got the fight to beat anybody, anywhere, or anytime.
all right.
Joe Spaghetti-O, when I came to town, you rolled up your socks because you felt the chill. Because like everybody else, when the fool's in town, everybody else, don't mess around.
And double action.
On WDSI, Fox 61.
Direct from Miss Kitty's Ballroom and Saloon in Marietta, Georgia, the Southern Wrestling Association proudly presents Southern Championship Wrestling from Georgia. Get ready for the most action-packed 60 minutes of mat mayhem you'll ever see. Your hosts for Southern Championship Wrestling from Georgia are Joe Pedicino and Rhubarb Jones.
I got ketchup on my blue jeans, just for my hand. Lord, it's hard to be a bachelor man. I got girls that can cook, I got girls that can clean, I got girls that can do anything in between. I gotta get ready, make everything right, 'cause all my rowdy friends are coming over tonight.
Hi, fans. This is Rick Stewart along with Rhubarb Jones. Welcome to another Southern Championship Wrestling Hour. Man, what a six-man tag we got. On one side, we've got Dick Slater, Manny Fernandez, and their special mystery partner.
They haven't said who the mystery partner is. Who knows? Who knows? But I'll tell you what, it ain't going to be easy. It ain't going to be Slater and Fernandez and whoever Mr. Mystery is. It ain't going to be easy. Bruiser Brody, Tommy Rich, and who else? Eddie Gilbert. Can you believe that?
No, this is a strange thing to me now. There was a truce made between Gilbert and Rich on the 36 TV show that you, me, and Joe Pedicino did just a couple of weeks ago. Now, this is the result of that, this six-man tag team match. Anyway, if things get out of hand, I'm sure Brody knows how to take care of that situation. Plus, later in this hour, we're going to be seeing the sensational Batten twins. Gentleman Chris Adams and a host of your other stars. Plus, all this week, man, your favorite Southern stars will be all around the arenas in the different cities, the different towns, and Rhubarb and I will be telling them about them.
I'll tell you what, we're going to be giving you a rundown of where they're going to be in your area. Go out and see Southern Championship Wrestling when it comes to your area. You'll love it.
We appreciate it, because Rhubarb and I get kind of lonely if there's nobody there. We want to see you at the matches, okay? We're standing by. Colonel Buck Robley is going to be out here in just a second. You ready for that?
I'm watching behind my back.
Better, they might tie you up again,
right.
brother. We're more right after this. Sorry about that. You stay with us, fans. Welcome back, fans. It's once again with extreme distaste that I introduce you to Colonel Buckley, Christopher George Robley III, the bounty hunter.
You know, Mr. TV announcer, I don't know why you say that and even think like that. You know, I had a mission, and I feel that I've almost conquered that mission. You know, I'm still going to get you. I'm going to collect the $5,000. Now, I feel bad about you running around here with a sling, torn shoulder and stuff. As you can see, Mr. TV announcer, this whole arm has been reconstructed from something, you know, from many battles right here inside this squared circle. I know the feeling of pain, too, but I also know the feeling of glory and victory, and that's what I'm here for. Now, I know that you got a little video. I want to clear this up right now. When I got here in Atlanta last week off the airplane, the man rushed me out here to Henderson Arena. He said, that's the arena there. That's the way I come in. I didn't know I was supposed to come in from the other way. Please show these people what happens to somebody when they don't pay attention.
The truth factor with Buck Robley. Well, you know what that is. Let's take a look 1 week ago today on Southern Championship Wrestling and take a look at the sportsmanlike style of the bounty hunter.
No boxing this time, Rick.
From the back, Buck Robley sneaking in like the dog he is. Not again.
Look at this. I can't believe it. I cannot believe this. Where did he come from?
Wrestler apparently from somewhere in the back or the side of the arena. Going right after the left arm of Wrestling 2. It's the same arm he busted up before.
You know, Rick, this is absolutely outrageous.
Wrestling 2, cheap shotted from behind by Buck Robley. Robley's going for the arm. It looks like the Colonel's headed for the top rope. Drives that knee right across the shoulder of Wrestling number 2.
This man is an animal, an absolute animal.
We need to get some kind of help in here. Some way, somehow. Robley chicken winging that arm. Looks like he may be going to put Wrestling 2 out.
Here comes Chris Adams. Yep.
Adams from the back. Oh! Gut shot. Super kick. Robley's down. Rhubarb 2's hurt. He's down there on the canvas. He ain't moving. He's not moving.
He cannot move his left arm. Seems like he cannot move his left arm at all.
Gentlemen, Chris Adams taking the war to the bounty hunter, Buck Robley. Adams has gone over to check on Wrestling 2. See what the extent of the injury to Wrestling 2 is.
Oh, no, look. Oh, no. Oh, my gosh.
From the back comes Dick Slater. Leg diving Chris Adams. 2 is down and hurt Robley and Slater. There's that brace. The brace that Buck Robley wears on the left arm just knocked Chris Adams into next week.
He's thrown Wolfman out of the ring.
Wrestling 2
outrageous.
He's trying to get something going. Robley's loading that brace. Robley's got the brace loaded.
All right, Chris Adams.
Chris Adams is in. Chris Adams after Slater. Driving Robley out of the ring.
Ladies and gentlemen, your first match is a one-fall, 10-minute time limit. Introducing from Atlanta, Georgia, Hot Rod Finley. And his opponent from Amarillo, Texas, Colonel Buck Robley.
Buck Robley rolling in with an arm drag on Gerald Finley. The scary thing about this dude is that, believe it or not, he can actually wrestle.
Well, he can wrestle, but, you know, it wasn't that long ago.
He's better at jumping off.
Well, you know, Rick, this man's been in an institution. How he got a license to wrestle again anywhere is beyond me. This man is a mad dog.
I'm sure the president of Southern Championship Wrestling has been questioned about the wisdom of that decision. But, you know, that's not my concern. I'm strictly an announcer. I don't want to get involved there.
Well,
one way or the other, no matter how he got it, he's got it. And he can legally wrestle in this area.
After seeing what he's done to wrestling,
how long put up with his crap? Now,
really?
That's another thing.
Yeah. Well, I'll tell you what. I want you to look at the expression. I don't know if the cameraman can catch the expression on Buck Robley's face. This man, he looks like a mad dog.
Yeah, he definitely looks like he's on the other side of the tracks.
Yeah. Oh, yeah.
Finley trying a scientific maneuver. Man, things, you know, can tend to get kind of dim up there in the computer brain of Buck Robley.
Well, as my grandmother would say, his bread ain't quite done.
Robley ramming that fist in the side of the jaw of Gerald Finley. But now let's remember, Rhubarb, that Gerald Finley is not wrestling 2. Gerald Finley is not Chris Adams. Let's see Robley do this to a couple of them face-to-face. Then we'll see just exactly what the sick and devious one is made out of.
Backbreaker.
Robley driving the knee into the upper chest. Finley he got off one good move at the start of the match, but after that he really never had a chance.
Look, the ring he goes.
Kind of close to us.
I want to know what's in that brace on his right forearm. I wonder what is in there, Rick. You know, he pulled something out of there as he ambushed Wrestling 2 those 2 times. And I just wonder what's in that.
It's got to be in there somewhere, you know, because he takes his fingers, he kind of runs them up and down, from what I've been able to see. He uses that right hand pretty heavily, too. He claims that it's had a lot of reconstructive surgery on it. I know there's a lot of scars on it. He might be telling the truth, but you never know. It's Robley.
He's getting a taste of hospitality, Atlanta, Georgia style, from Hot Rod Finley.
Hang on, there he goes. There goes that brace. Buck's buster is loaded. Finley got busted.
That's it.
That's all she wrote for Gerald Finley.
Well, once again, Colonel Buck Robley takes another victim, not an opponent. He has victims. And making his way over.
Waiting for the opportunity, dubious as it is, to talk to Colonel Buck Robley. And, sir, nobody denies your talents inside the ring, but let me remind you, for all the fans, Mr. Robley, that's not Wrestling 2. That's not Chris Adams.
You bring him on! You bring him on! Chris Adams, Wrestling 2. Dickie Slater, Abdul the Butcher. You bring them all on and line them up, and I'll bust every one of them.
The words of Colonel Buck Robley, fans. We got more great action. All right, well, let's go to commercial, fans. We'll be back in just a couple of minutes. Stay with us.
Thursday night at 8 on WDSI Fox 61.
Ladies and gentlemen, your next match, a one-fall 10-minute time limit, introducing from Japan, Akio Sato. And his opponent from the dark side, riding in on the Midnight Express, Ravishing Randy Rose.
I really wish you'd do something about that grip. Rub hard, Jones.
Here's something I don't understand, fans. Randy Rose has got a world-class wrestler right across the ring from him in Akio Sato. International star, carries a heavy, heavy reputation, and he's wasting time trying to insult my buddy Rhubarb Jones. What kind of problem does he have with you, Rube?
Randy Rose is just, he's just not a nice person, and of course there's no love lost on this end. He just eat up with nasty.
You keep your cool real well, though. I'm glad to see that.
The thing about Randy Rose,
I tend to get twitchy myself and head off.
He's got a lot of hot air, but I'll tell you what, he is a tough competitor and one fierce man in that ring, no matter who his opponent is.
They were swapping arm bars till Sato brought it up with that karate chop. Now, the chop is legal. You can chop a man. It's the thrust. The karate thrust, either with the foot or the hand or the elbow, that's been ruled illegal. Back of the elbow, side of the hand, flat of the foot. All okay in karate.
Rick, as you pointed out last week about Akio Sato, he's been involved in wrestling since a very, very young age. And the Japanese, of course, are perfectionists, regardless of what they're involved in. If it's athletic competition or if it's anything, a technical competition, regardless of what they do. They're fierce competitors in the marketplace or in the ring.
Collar and elbow. Sato switches behind to a hammerlock.
I'll tell you what I'm looking forward to later on this hour, that 6-man tag team match. I'll tell you what, this would be a great draw anywhere. It'd be a great draw on any card, any venue, anywhere in the United States.
I want to remind all our fans in and around the Metro Atlanta area, come on down the south side and visit with Rhubarb and myself on Sunday night, July the 10th. The Bullet's going to be here. Manny Fernandez is back. Chris Adams, Tommy Rich, host of your favorite stars. You and I'll be here.
We'll be here. I'll tell you what. Yes, sir. What a move. What a move by Sato. Rose didn't know what hit it.
Imagine this. A little bit of question there. Some of the fans are hollering DQ, disqualification.
Yeah.
But the deal is on this over-the-top rope, Rhubarb, the opponent's got to have control of the other wrestler's body when he goes over the top rope. Now, if Randy Rhodes just have to go flying over the top rope, that's the way it is, you know. That's what it'd be like sometimes.
Yes, sir. Yes, sir. Well, Rose last week had his hands full against Steve Pritchard.
Well, Sato's in here testing all of the best stars. Pretty Boy Doug Summers 1 week ago. Now ravishing Randy Rose. And Rose catches a shoulder tackle. Drops down.
Oh, what a chop. Clotheslined him right down. Look at this.
From out of nowhere, Randy Rose is capable of coming up with just one simple move. He can turn the match all the way around. And look at him now. He's not giving Sato a chance to recover. Not cutting him any slack at all. Ravishing Randy is all
look at that.
This man.
He loves to use that boot. Comes that body slam. Oh.
Still to come this hour, and I know you mentioned it earlier in the show. Hang on. Sato kicks out the count of 2. Rose likes to use those ropes. We talked about that last week. Glad to see Mr. Wrestling number 2 will compete this hour on Southern Championship Wrestling.
Fantastic.
Talking to him in the dressing room, the shoulder still bothers him. Not enough to get it back in the sling like it was for a couple of weeks, but
well, there
he's going to be at a disadvantage.
There was an article about him in the an insert in the Atlanta papers here just about a couple weeks ago.
Borderline, huh? I'd say that was a borderline call. It was either in the meaty part of the thigh or it was foul.
2 count on Sato, but Wrestling 2, it's good to see that he's up and around and he's going to wrestle. I tell you what, that left arm really gave him a lot of trouble. A lot of trouble.
Sato fighting his way out of the corner. Big karate chop. Pulls Randy Rose back into the corner. Sato sets his man for the ride. Ha!
No! Rose is...
The martial arts may have thrown Randy Rose for just a second. Rose misses the clothesline. Rolled up by Akio Sato. Sato caught with the momentum. 2, 3.
That's it.
And a win on Southern Championship Wrestling for ravishing Randy Rose. Fans still to come. Chris Adams, Bruiser Brody, Dick Slater, Manny Fernandez. Many more of your favorite stars. He's in your face again, Rhubarb. Tell you what, fans, we're going to be back. Short time out. We'll be back. More Southern Championship action right after this. Popular stars in this area. Of course, the legendary Mr. Wrestling number 2, who's got a match coming up later this hour. We want to talk to him about the situation with the Bounty Hunter in just a couple of seconds. But first, I always like this part of my job. We'll get to recognize and welcome the first and new Southern Heavyweight Wrestling Champion, gentleman Chris Adams. Congratulations. You won the title in Columbus, Georgia. It was a very, very tough night.
It was a tough night. It wasn't just one match. It was a series of matches. And in the end, I'd like to tell you people what happened. Tommy Rich and I were in a match together, and we went through to a 10-minute draw, and then we had a coin flip. Unfortunately, Tommy lost, so I went through to the next round, and I have Buck Robley for the finals. Now, Buck Robley, I've been noticing, I've been kind of watching, and I've been taking in everything about you. And you know what? I don't like you. I think you're sick, I think you're devious, and I think you're warped in the head. So I'm really pleased that it was Buck Robley in the finals. Buck Robley, this is mine. I'm proud that you people here have accepted me the way you have, and I'll tell you what, I'll defend it, and every time I do defend it, it will be for you people.
And the fans, I know, at least in Columbus, hold a special place in their heart for Mr. Wrestling #2 in that tournament. Too, you've been through a lot of things, and it looks like you're still waiting on that opportunity to stand like eye to eye with this Buck Robley.
Well, you see, what it boils down to is that now the air is clear now, you see. We know exactly where he's coming from. He can't come to you head on, so therefore we're going to play the same game. He wants to be nasty. He wants to be a backstabbing, whatever you call him. That's okay. I'm going to show you, and I'm going to show all these people, and mainly I'm going to show Buck Robley how it's done.
Now watch your back.
You know, fans in this area might remember that Wrestling 2 is speaking from experience. More on that later, too. Thank you for coming out, sir. We'll see you later this hour. Gentlemen, Chris Adams has got a match in the ring. Best of luck to you, champ. Let's go up to the ring now. My friend Rhubarb Jones.
In our next match, introducing from Stratford-on-Avon, England, gentleman Chris Adams. And his opponent from parts unknown, the Grappler.
The new Southern Heavyweight Wrestling Champion, gentleman Chris Adams, his first appearance out here with the championship belt. We wanted to talk to him last week, of course, when he won the title in Columbus. It was very fresh on our minds, but he got involved in the situation between Wrestling 2 and the bounty hunter, Yellow Belly, Colonel Buck Robley. So we didn't have the time to honor him as he should have been honored. But I get the feeling, Rhubarb, that not only is Chris going to be a fighting champion, he's going to be a long-term champion here in Southern Championship Wrestling.
Well, I'll tell you what, he's got that English Bulldog spirit in him.
And let's not forget now, he is a former world champion.
I'll tell you what, we call him gentleman, and he truly is a gentleman. Inside the ring and outside the ring.
He's a very, very easy guy to be around. Always very polite, takes time out. Even I was sitting with him in a restaurant the other day, and it was late. We'd been out on the road, coming back from some town quite a bit of distance away. And no matter how tired Chris was or how much he wanted to just sit there and relax and enjoy his meal, he always took the time to sign the fans' autographs. And these days, that really means a lot.
He's very popular with the young ladies. He's very popular with kids, and I'll tell you what, he's quite a competitor. He didn't get that belt by being any kind of a pushover, I can tell you.
Now tell me again how I can get hooked up with one of these Y106 girls.
Oh, my goodness. Well, I believe that can be arranged.
We'll talk about that more later.
Our next taping on the 10th of July, we're going to bring some.
We're going to have a win-a-date for Rick Stewart contest. No, wait a minute.
I'll tell you what, you've been... Whoa, what a hit.
Chris Adams, a shoulder tackle right there. Hip block takedown on the Grappler. Hang on. Grappler's in the tights. Big crowd, by the way, for you fans at home. This hour of Southern Championship Wrestling coming from Henderson's Arena in Atlanta. You'll be able to see all your favorite stars here Sunday, July the 10th. Let's think. The Bullet's back in town.
Yeah.
He's bad to the bone.
Oh, yes, sir.
You'll get a chance to see the Madman from Sudan, Abdullah the Butcher, Manny Fernandez, Tommy Rich, Colonel Buck Robley, Wrestling 2, gentleman Chris Adams. Just a wild, wild night of wrestling on the 10th. Hope our fans will be there. Fans in Columbus don't feel so all alone either. Big card returning to Columbus at the Auditorium on Saturday night, July the 9th. Later this hour, of course, we'll have full details on exactly what that card is.
Well, as we said, we're going to bring some of those Y106 FM bells out here to see. I tell you what, I think, Rick, you're long overdue some good Georgia hospitality, my friend.
I've been hearing Tommy Rich and Chris Adams talk about the Georgia peaches.
Oh, yeah.
Probably about time I went to the garden myself.
Oh, yeah. Oh, yeah.
Or you got a deal, brother. All right. Back to more serious business now.
Back here.
We got a problem with the grappler getting into the trunks of Chris Adams. Chris got that fist cocked back like he's just about had enough, huh?
Well, the grappler will use, I guess, any hold that he can. Look at this.
Well, here's a guy new in the area, his first match in. He's wrestling, or excuse me, his second match in this area. Wrestling against the champion, the man at the top, Southern heavyweight champion, gentleman, Chris Adams. If he can even take Chris Adams to a draw, he becomes #1 contender immediately.
Well, as everybody's going to be coming after Chris Adams, it's just like the legendary Paul Bear Bryant said, anytime you stick your head above the crowd, some fool wants to knock it off. And everybody's going to be coming after gentleman Chris Adams. Grappler going down.
Grappler, something tells me he doesn't want any more of that gentlemanly treatment, huh?
No more of that.
Adams, snap mare, takedown. He may be, yes, sir. Trying to unlace that mask that hides the identity of the grappler. A lot of talk these days about the taking of masks in the Southern Championship area. We'll remind our fans still to come this hour. The Batten twins are back. Their belligerent attitude toward professional wrestling. Then
that six-man.
Brody's here.
That
Tommy
six-man.
Eddie Gilbert against Manny Fernandez, Dick Slater, and their mystery partner. Plus, Wrestling 2 in the ring this hour on Southern.
I'm just so glad that Wrestling 2 is back. Had some time to, I think he's gone through physical therapy earlier part of the week. And he's not totally up to speed, but he wants to wrestle tonight.
In his heart, I guess in his heart, he feels like the time is now to get back in the ring. And, hey, who can be a better judge of how things are going for yourself than yourself?
Oh, yeah.
He's got to wake up with that pain every day. He's got to know about it. Chris Adams, of course, very wary stalking in on this grappler because, Rhubarb, plain and simple. One mistake, the champion could get upended on TV. I've seen it happen time and time again.
I'll tell you what, I believe the hay is about in the barn for the grappler. I don't know how much more he can take of Chris Adams. Oh my goodness. Right there at the crook of the elbow, right there at the crook of the arm.
Chris seems to be keying down on that left arm. Now here's a guy I especially admire for overcoming a lot of life's adversities. Oh, what a lick! Something tells me that the grappler ain't going to overcome that, huh?
That's it.
Winner of your match in fine style is gentleman Chris Adams. Chris Adams wanted to take that mask off. Oh, fans, let's stay with this, guys. Let's stay with this. I'd like to see Chris jerk that hood, huh? Yeah. Grappler bailing out for a safer location than being in the ring with gentleman Chris Adams. There's your winner, fans. We're going to be back with more great action, including the Battens, the big six-man tag in Wrestling 2. You guys stay with us. More great Southern Championship Wrestling coming up.
Cleveland. The concert event of the summer.
Rocket 88.
Steve Winwood, Sting, Eurythmics, Richard Marx.
Rocket 88.
Run DMC, Crowded House, Cheap Trick, Ice House, and more. Together in Montreux, Switzerland for one unparalleled festival. Join MTV's Adam Curry for 2 hours of major hit music. MTV's Rocket 88, the best performances from the Montreux Rock Festival.
Friday night at 8 on WDSI.
Ladies and gentlemen, a tag team match introducing from LaGrange, Georgia, Chick Donovan. And his partner from Baltimore, Maryland, Joey Maggs. Introducing from Pensacola Beach, Florida, Brad and Bart, the Batten twins.
Batten twins are back, cutting a swath through the tag team competition here, the Southern Championship area. But now a lot of tough teams are lining up in this area. And I'm just thinking of all these teams that I'm seeing coagulating. I'm seeing Buck Robley and Abdullah the Butcher. I'm seeing Mr. Wrestling number 2 and Chris Adams. Mr. Wrestling number 2 and Ranger Ross. Tommy Rich and a host of partners. A lot of hot tag teams are here right now in the Southern Wrestling area.
Well, I'll tell you what, these Battens have definitely come into the Southern Championship Wrestling area and have really, really kind of caught fire. Their tactics are most questionable. Is that a pretty neat way to say they cheat? I'm trying to be real tactful.
I don't know.
Rick.
You made me say that that other guy cheated last week. Fess up. Come on.
Okay, all right. Watch these guys. Watch how they make the tag or they not make the tag.
Donovan, drop toe hold. Batten floats up. Donovan turns it into a hammerlock on one half of the Crazy Train. Snapmare takedown. A rake of the eyes from Chick Donovan. 6-man tag coming up. Bruiser Brody's here. Be interesting to see how Tommy Rich and Eddie Gilbert. Once again, the Batten in the corner. Oh! I tell you, instead of jawing at me, he should have been watching Chick Donovan.
Yes, sir. Yes, sir. Chick Donovan has been a fierce competitor over the years, a crowd favorite, and his experience shining through on the Battens.
Batten complaining about a pull of the hair from Chick Donovan. Nah, I don't think so. A little mental intimidation there between the Golden Boy and one half of the Batten twins.
You know, if the cameraman is getting a shot of Chick Donovan's, like his shoulders and his biceps. He owns a gym down in LaGrange, Georgia. He works out with regularity, and he is in great shape, but he's in trouble now. What a move by Chick Donovan!
Double hip toss.
Oh, what a
train's
move!
Off the
and
track.
He's fired up! Oh, is he fired up?
Batten slowly rolling back inside the ring. And you know, they're certainly trying to put something together to put away the Golden Boy and his partner, Hotshot Joey Maggs. Maggs clamping down a side headlock. Tags Chick Donovan, and Donovan back in. Short move under the arm of Batten.
Now Maggs.
Hang on, Chick's over the ropes. Wait a minute.
Look at this.
Tripped from the outside by one of the Batten twins. Golden Boy down. Fired off into the ropes. Double clothesline on Chick Donovan from the sensational Batten twins. The train's starting to roll on the Golden Boy. Count of ones, all they could get. Watch the way these Batten twins block. They make the tag and they block.
Lower back. The lower back of Chick Donovan. You know he's in a lot of pain. And the Batten is applying the knee and putting the pressure on the neck and head of Chick Donovan. Whoa!
Donovan trying to snapmare his way out of it. Hang on. Donovan struggling to make that corner, trying to get the tag to his partner. Batten makes the tag. The fresh twin is in. Did he make it? I'm not sure. I don't think so, Rhubarb.
I didn't see it. Wolfman, I don't think he saw it either. Wolfman's not seeing this.
Double suplex. Donovan in pain as Batten wraps him up. And Donovan not having the strength to kick out. Head for the bottom rope. Batten twins now on the move against Chick Donovan. Double drop kick that rocks the Golden Boy.
4 boots right to the body. Joey Maggs desperately wanting to get in there. The Chick can just get to that corner.
Hang on! Oh! Donovan managed to wheel his way out. He's crawling for that corner.
Tag, Chick. Make that tag. All right, now in. Hello.
Joey Maggs. Getting in a couple of licks for his partner. Batten. Sunset flip. Thought that was going to be it for a second. The Golden Boy trying to come in to help his partner. Now we got all 4 men in the ring. Maggs hangs on for the cover. Oh! Blindside. Oh, man, no.
Look at this. Chick Donovan couldn't take it anymore.
They've made the switch. The fresh Batten's in the ring. Hang on. Backslide from Joey Maggs. This time the other Batten comes in. We've got Batten going left and Batten going right. I believe in this. Another win for the Batten Twins fans. A lot more action to come. We're going to be back right after this brief timeout on Southern Championship.
Hungry quality, a shop for yourself or your family. A time's running out, take a look at your clock. Hurry on down to South Rock Collection.
Baby, Thomas Edwards Furniture Manufacturing Company wants you to live like a king. So, sweetheart, they're selling direct to you with easy credit, too. See you there, teddy bear. Thomas Edwards Furniture Manufacturing Company, Dayton Boulevard, 1 mile past Highway 153.
Ladies and gentlemen, we have a 6-man tag team match. Introducing Hot Stuff Eddie Gilbert. His partners from Atlanta, Georgia, Wildfire, Tommy Rich. And from Albuquerque, New Mexico, Bruiser Brody. Their opponents from the Sudan, Abdullah the Butcher. His partner from Tampa, Florida, Dirty Dick Slater. And his partner from Amarillo, Texas, Colonel Buck Robley.
Now, is this a collection or is this a collection, huh? I've seen some interesting combinations in my time, but I don't think I've ever seen anything quite as different in styles and competitors. You've got Tommy Rich, Eddie Gilbert, and the baddest man in the land, Bruiser Brody. Abdullah the Butcher says it for itself. Sick and devious Buck Robley, and Dick Slater, who's just plain nuts. Who knows what's going to go on in this one, huh?
This card would be hot in any, I don't care if it's Madison Square Garden
This
in
is
New York.
a whole card.
This is it right here. What a match this is going to be. Woo! I'll tell you what, fans, when Southern Championship Wrestling comes to your town or your area, get out and see it. There ain't nothing like seeing it live, Rick.
By the way, if you want to bring Southern Championship Wrestling to your town to be part of your local civic fundraising organizations, during the next match, we'll tell you exactly how to do that. You stand by for that. Rich and Robley locked up, collar and elbow. Buck Robley holds the dubious honor of being the only person ever permanently banned from the Superstation. And the the main gist of the reason was the outcome of a match between himself and Tommy Rich. This was several years ago, but to this day, Buck Robley cannot step inside the doors of that particular establishment. Not that he cares, but...
well, he's a mad dog.
Hang on.
Oh! Look out.
I think this is what the fans wanted
to
see.
Yeah. This is it right here. Yeah, Colonel.
I can see one of them big boots sailing into that bearded face,
Yes, sir, buddy. Yes, sir.
Colonel Buck Robley absorbing a lot of punishment on that left arm.
It's kind of like, to look at the expression on Buck Robley's face, it's kind of like he's not really aware of what's going on.
Drop toe hold from the Colonel, takes Gilbert to the canvas. He's blocking Gilbert in the corner. The tag to Dick Slater. Slater coming off with a shoulder tackle. Heads for the ropes again. Gilbert drops down. Who's right there with a hip toss?
Hot stuff looking good.
Let's not forget, fans, deep down in the back of your mind, think back a week, 5 weeks, 6 weeks, a year, to all the things you've seen between Bruiser Brody and Abdullah the Butcher. You got them standing in the opposite corners. Who knows which way this thing's going to go, huh?
I'll tell you what, to see this alliance between Tommy Wildfire Rich and Hot Stuff Eddie Gilbert.
It's kind of weird, isn't it?
It really is.
So far in this match, they've been working pretty well as a team. Slater scrambling around, trying to get out of this. Ends back up in the long arm bar of Tommy Rich.
I want you to watch Abdullah just kind of slinking over there. That foot, that's got to be a size 17 shoe.
You know, and a lot of people have said that those little curly cues on the front of his boot, he's not shy about keeping something in those boots either. Tommy Rich and Dick Slater, long-time adversaries here in the Southern Championship Wrestling area. There's a lot of bad blood between these two, and I know it's far from over. Slater waist locked in from behind. Tommy Rich trying to break away. Comes up with a long arm bar of Dick Slater. Hang on, Robley's up on top. Referee forcing him. Uh-oh, problems. Tag to Bruiser Brody.
Whoa! Said, hello, Slater, my name is Bruiser.
Wait a minute, now here's what I've been afraid of. Brody trapped in the corner with Slater, Abdullah, and Robley. Slater and Robley trying to get in a little double team, and there's the big boot. The big boot into Buck Robley. Gorilla Glue.
Robley's what, 260, 270? Look at Bruiser throwing around like he's a rag doll.
And brother, there's only one baddest man in the land.
Oh.
And he's standing up going up right now.
Hell yeah.
Brody hammering Robley away into the corner. Robley trying to get in the eyes. Back and forth. Back and so fast it's hard to call, Rhubarb.
Now what is this? What?
Hang on. Butcher's got something in that right hand. Whatever it is that he keeps in his boot, we've seen it before, Rhubarb. He's got it in the throat of Bruiser Brody. Brody's definitely stunned. Brody's hurt from this encounter. Rhubarb's just sitting there, the stunned look on his face.
I can't believe this animal.
This match, when I saw this is what the match on TV was going to be, I knew it was going to be mayhem from start to finish. Even I wasn't ready for this, Rhubarb. Don't feel so alone, brother. 2 points, extra 6.
Yes, sir. Tommy Rich getting after all of them, getting after some people. Whoa! Dickie Slater going down. You said Rick, there's a lot of bad blood between Dickie Slater and Tommy Wildfire Rich.
Slater used his head that time. He thought he saw a backdrop coming up, cinched in with that front space lock, drove it around into a neck breaker, and turned this match around. Now the tag to the madman from Sudan.
Oh, my goodness. Hope the referee, Wolfman, is looking to go for whatever that thing is.
Referee's trying to keep control of this thing. Very tough to keep control of Abdullah the Butcher.
Whoa!
Brody came in, broke it up with the boot. Meanwhile, the Buster comes into play. That brace Robley wears on his right arm. Caught Tommy Rich right across his running lights.
What is that thing on his right arm there? I don't know what that is, Rick. That thing on his forearm.
Well, whatever it is, it's done the job on Tommy Rich. He's down. But not down for the count, brother. He was up at 2. Rich trying to make it to the corner. Robley in for the block as Dick Slater gets in a little extra double teaming behind the back. Slater trying.
I'll tell you, Rick, this is just about as exciting a match as I have ever seen anywhere. This 6-man tag team match is great. Absolutely great.
Tommy Rich reversing that suplex now. We got to see if he can get to his corner, make that tag, get a fresh man in the ring, falls back. He got the tag of Brody.
Brody working on Dickie Slater. Now getting after Robley and then Abdullah.
Bruiser Brody kicking right and left. Gilbert's on Robley. Tommy Rich trying to get his wits back about him. Heading around the corner.
Mayhem.
Heading for Abdullah the Butcher. Look at.
Oh!
Absolute
mayhem.
Tommy Rich struggling, trying to get an advantage. The table's gone down again. The Butcher's got a chair. Abdullah's got a chair. Abdullah's got a chair.
Absolute mayhem, Rick Stewart. Look at this.
His own partner, Slater, ends up. Tommy Rich after Abdullah with the chair. The referee's called for the bell. I can't find it. The bell's on the floor. Brody and Abdullah squaring off.
Rick, everything's totally out of control. Totally out of control.
Hang on, Brody's after Abdullah in the back.
Look at this.
The fans are scattering. Wait a minute. Mr. Wrestling number 2 is just in the ring.
Wait! All right!
Wrestling 2 is in the ring. Wrestling 2 is in the ring. They've cleared the house. I don't know what the decision is going to be, fans. 2 after Dick Slater. Let me get the referee, get some kind of a decision. Chris Adams is down. What? What's the decision, ref?
Disqualification.
Both teams are disqualified. We're going to get some kind of order here, fans. We're going to be back. More wrestling right after this. We're going to find out.
Whoa, what in the world?
Come on. Join the Big G Breakfast Buddies at Opryland and save money with Big G.
Ladies and gentlemen, our final event on Southern Championship Wrestling this evening, introducing from Baton Rouge, Louisiana, Big Jim Bryant. And his opponent from parts unknown, Mr. Wrestling number 2.
number 2 in action for the first time against an opponent that he can actually look in the eye. And 2 has definitely got something to prove here. His first actual match experience since the incident with Colonel Buck Robley on live TV about 3-4 weeks ago.
Rick, I'm kind of eager to see the mobility and see how he uses his left arm. Of course, he couldn't even move it at all after last week's, shall we say, ambush by Colonel Buck Robley.
Well, he's been in there with rights most all this match. He seems to be favoring that arm just a little bit.
All right, see Big Jim Bryant. Of course, he's got to outweigh wrestling to a good